Hello, screenwriters, and welcome to Writing for Screens, the screenwriting step-by-step project, episode 159. My name is Glenn Gers, and I come to you every Monday through Friday, if I can make it, at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, to let you look over my shoulder, share my screen while I write a script. And I am doing this in order to teach a part of screenwriting, which is the process. I want to demystify the process because most screenwriting teaching is talking about the result, the script itself, the great, brilliant things you need to do in your story and in your structure and stuff like that. But the biggest thing you need to do in order to get those things done is actually write the script. And very few people seem to talk about how you do that. So I am just going to try and walk you through how I learned to do it in a 25-year career writing movies and TV, how you get through it scene by scene, line by line, outline to draft to rewrite. All that stuff in case you find it helpful when you're looking at the blank page. This is not the only way to do it. It is not the best way to do it. It's just what I think is a practical, simple, adaptable way that you can figure out your version of. It's just some simple tricks and tools to help you take on whatever it is that you're trying to do. If it doesn't work for you, don't do it. Maybe it'll just show you what you don't want to do. All cool. You do not have to do this. You don't have to watch this. You don't have to watch all of these. It does not matter if you catch every single episode. It's not like there's some grand plan. I'm just working every day, getting it done, and sometimes it's helpful to see that. So, with that said, hello, Martletoso. Hello, Natasha. Hello, this is Kitschy. We are going to get back to work because this morning at like 5 in the morning, I woke up with a thought. I was like, oh my gosh, I've realized something really obvious and important. Hello, Dandelion. In this scene that we are working on. So let me get to this scene. Here's the deal. I wrote these notes in the outline. Oh wait, Martletoso is telling us something. Over the weekend and yesterday, I was able to write 15 pages. Whoa, nice. That's not little progress. That is solid. But 15 pages is a hunk of the script. It's like more than 10% of an average feature script. Page by page, the script will be finished. That is what I have to keep telling myself as I do this. So thank you for giving us all an example of how. Bit by bit, every once in a while you get a weird burst and you'll get a whole bunch done. Then another day you'll just be struggling to get a paragraph. That's okay as long as you're making progress and doing the work. Okay, so here's what happened. I was thinking about this scene that we are muddling through, which we are making progress. But a couple things occurred to me. It was just like, duh. First of all, there's a couple of beats. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Here in among the things that we need to establish in this scene are that Zena is calling Madeline on her home phone. And I wrote this. I wrote Madeline's phone. The caller ID is Zena. No, that was dumb. Why am I not putting the full name, Morano? Because we are introducing the character here. This is important. We are the first thing is this name, Zena Morano. We have to see it. We have to say that because what I realized is now what happens in the scene is that she declines the call, mutes the phone, and puts it away. Got that? Okay. So then later, at the end of the scene, we get, I have another thing where she vibrates, and I think I'm probably going to cut that. Boom, cut. We don't need that. It's too many details, too many. Sometimes I make a little one-act play out of every scene. That's too much. What's important is that at the end of the scene, her phone vibrates, she checks Zena again. Now what we need to do is make this. We're trying to establish in the reader and the audience's mind that this name is something that we should be paying attention to. And what I realized is she muted her phone, she put it away, so or possibly even turns off her phone, which I think is better. When she turns it on again, she's got like 16 notifications that Zena Morano has called. Like in the past 10 minutes, Zena has called and called and called and called. That will establish Zena as like, wait a second, what is this deal? And then we cut to Zena, see? Then that will be introducing the character as this person who is urgently trying to get into Madeline's head. That is the point. So we need to... so I will need to get to that. Hello, Rachel Waring. Good to see you. So that's the first important insight. So the first thing is we have to do and get this shuts the phone off, turns the phone off, and puts... And I'm going to, the phone rings. Caller ID, Zena Morano. Look at that. So now as the phone rings, caller ID, Zena Morano. Right, she frowns because she does not know who Zena Morano is and declines the call, turns the phone off, and puts it away. Now that's a lot to do on, so we're going to need to add some dialogue in between those two. Actually, we're going to do this. She frowns and declines the call. Turning the phone off and putting it away during. That's what it is. During. Okay. Now, okay, that's better. See, now the action is, what we're saying is, I mean, she frowns, and we may not know why she frowns. That's okay. It could be that she doesn't like Zena Morano. She knows her, but this is a pretty good, concise action. And the important thing about saying it during and making that turning the phone off instead of turns the phone off is that by doing it during, I can have this. She's not like, we're not going to just sit and watch her turn her phone off, because that is not really the greatest cinema moment there. But if she is doing it while she's talking, cool. Sarah, I have to say hi to Sarah, because Sarah, like last week sometime, mentioned when I type in, there's ways to type into this live stream software, but I keep running into the problem that I want to make a line break and I couldn't do it. And Sarah said, you know, often in software, if you do, I think it's shift and then return, it puts a line break in. You were right. I tested that out, and now I know how to put line breaks into my little legends that I put up sometimes. So thank you, Sarah, for the helping the boomer with the tech. Okay. Maybe you can finally get some work done. Well, that would be cool. If either of us got some work done, we would be good. Actually, we're getting work done. We're doing good here. She frowns and declines it. Let's keep this short. Turning the phone off. Look at that. Look at how we are making things readable. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right. So that's step one, is I had this thing that she... See now, I put Zena's full name in her caller ID. Duh, we're establishing a character. We want the audience to know. I don't know who this Zena is, but they're taking the time. And by the way, this is something that is important to tell you. Let's look at this. This is a stage direction. Madeline's phone rings. Caller ID, Zena Morano. Okay, there is no way to show that except either to do some kind of graphic up on the screen, which sometimes you do. I did in Like, Share, Follow brilliantly, by the way. Or by simply writing it this way. phone rings, caller ID Zena Morano, we have got to do a close-up of the phone. There's no other way visually to establish that, unless she says, "Who's Zena Morano?" out loud. So the important thing about this is that I am teaching you how to imply edits and camera shots without saying them, because this is really important. If if I did this close up on the phone, that would be freaking annoying. It's taking us out of the moment, the drama, the story, and saying, "Hey, I'm writing a script." So we don't do that. I don't do that. I suggest you not do that, because we are implying that we went to a close-up of the phone here, a little insert, something like that. At least it's a good start. It's the way to make it readable that we are steering the eye and the mind without calling attention to it by putting extra words in that disrupt the moment. The moment is all. Okay, so I did that. I got that. So now she shuts off the phone, and I did that because I thought at first, should she just mute it and then have it like buzzing all the way through the scene? But it's very difficult to have a lot of elements going in the scene, and this is an incredibly complicated scene already. So why not just have it be a thing, and then at the end of the scene, a thing? So that means shutting off the phone, which is also understandable because she's talking to a homicide detective at a crime scene. Boom. Okay, so that note, which I wrote at 5 a.m, is done. Then, at the end of the scene, she turns it back up. 12 missed calls with Zena pop up as notifications. So let's go down and do that. Excuse me, hiccups. Turns her phone back on. 12 notifications appear. All missed calls from, so sorry, excuse me, Zena Morano. I don't know who the hell you are. She clears all the notifications and takes a deep breath. There we go. Okay. Notifactions, that's incorrect. Oh, damn. And what's more? Notifications. Now I have notifications. Yes, okay. Now I have spelled that. All right. Well, I don't think I need appear. Because what else are they gonna? They're there. It's the thing. It's all good. All right. Them all. Clears them all. That's all we need. Look at that. Meanwhile, I Write is here. Hi, I Write. Prince of the City. Yes. Street Williams, man. And yes, actually, it's really cool to see the 70s and early 80s New York, because this was just a thing for me. In recent days, film companies have become very uneasy about shooting on the streets. They control it much more than they used to, so that when you see a scene on the street, most of the time now, everybody in it is an extra. I'm sorry, there's a better word for there. That you're not supposed to call them extras. Background actors. Anyway, the point is, there is an artificiality that happens then. They also are afraid of showing sign names, street names, car and logos, t-shirt logos. In the old days, from the 1950s, when the technology began to open up for cameras to go out on the streets, although in the 1920s that happened too, but for a long time that wasn't true. Starting in the 50s and especially in the 60s and 70s, they would just take a camera crew out, they'd put them in a truck or something, open the back so the camera was more or less hidden, use a long lens and film the actors walking on the street with real people. And you can tell, you can see. Now and then they'll like look over at the actors, like, but most of the time, what you get is a fabric of reality which is sorely missing from current filmmaking, because of legal and technological issues where they are simply afraid to just shoot on the street. Anyway, it's a great thing, and there's definitely some scenes in Prince of the City where you can like that's a hidden camera, and these people are just walking around because they weren't that famous. And yeah, anyway, so there you go. You are welcome. Yes. Also, Prince of the City is just it's just a beautiful exploration of character. The reason I recommend it is because it's watching a man slowly fall apart as the legal system not entraps him, but corners him into doing what he really has to do. Okay. Oh, it's a kind of insulting. To say extras, yeah, they're just extras. Background actors is apparently, and I actually go for this. It's fine. I grew up with extras, so therefore. Anyway, yeah, that's the answer is I believe on sets now it is better not to say extras. I believe the term is background actors, but I'm not sure. I don't spend that much time on sets. Hidden cameras, yes, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Back in the teens and 20s in silent film, cameras were small. You didn't need a big crew. You didn't need a sound. So therefore, they would just plunk the camera down and shoot on the streets, which makes silent films fascinating. Anyway, so yes, absolutely. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Altered states, it's another one. There were certain things where they just put the camera on the street and you go, whoa, okay. All right. So now I'm just double checking. Here's what I'm thinking. Do I want this to the phone? I think she does. I think it's obvious that it's to the phone. I don't think you have to say that. And it reads better, and it's one line less, and that is good. Hello, Orphe. Nice to see you. Loves Harold. Yes, I am. I actually, it's Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton, who actually there's a whole book, I believe, of Buster Keaton film stills in which the point of them is to identify the street in Los Angeles that it was filmed on, because it's sort of a documentary volume. They show what those streets were, where they filmed the various things in Buster Keaton movies. Okay, so I have now taken care of twist. Yes. Okay, so now that takes that. Then here's the other thing. I have this bit where Elms is talking about these web sleuths, right? And he's pissed. And he says he could be a web sleuth. And web sleuth, yes, it's a concept that's important to get across. But the truth is that he should be saying crime crackers. Because that's why am I calling it? I'm calling the site Dr. Sleuth because that's a great. It's a great name for a website, and I like it. But I have decided that the title page of this is Crime Crackers. Okay, that is the title of this script, and it's going to become it's the title of the series now, which means that we are saying, what is Crime Crackers? Who is Crime Crackers? When you start watching this show, you're like, what is this thing, Crime Crackers? It sounds kind of funny, but it kind of sounds kind of crime sounds bad. So it's like anyway. The whole point is you need to get that concept of the crime crackers into the scenes, into the dialogue. Why am I talking about web sleuths when I should be talking about crime crackers? get it into the audience's head. What is this thing? So I need to go do that. Yes, yeah, that's a very frightening thing when you know that he was there. There's a shot in Steamboat Bill, I believe, where he's standing in front of the front of a house, and there's a big hurricane happening, a storm, and it blows the house down. And the front of the house, the entire front of the house, was built, and they did they figured out the physics by which this entire house front, 2-story house front, is going to fall forward, and there's a window, and he is standing in front of it, and the window comes over him so that he just stands there while this house falls on him. And they actually did that. It's not a digital effect or anything. They actually built a house. They figured out where he had to stand and how big the window had to be to just go whoomp, right on top. Yeah. Buster Keaton is quite amazing. Yes, the YouTube exploration channels of history of LA, history of many cities, and their convergence into old movies is pretty cool. Hi, Gene. Hello. Hey. Okay, so now it is time to get... Oh, but before I get into this, I wanted to talk about this note. Make sure we really play up the name and phrase crime crackers a lot in all the scenes in Zoom calls because it's the title of the series. And I wrote a note to myself. Talk about this in the live stream because it's the most incredibly obvious thing. Obviously, I should be making use of my title and making use of the fact that the title refers to a group of people in the story. This is important. And the question is, why has it taken me 8 or more months to figure this out? Why has this dialogue existed for months now and me not say, wait a second, why aren't I calling it crime crackers? And the answer to that is because it's a process. And the thing I'm trying to teach you now is that you have to get comfortable with going over and over and over, going back and reading the script and then going back to the outline, because you're going to see different things each time you go over it and over it and over it. Hold on, I think I have. Yeah, here we go. Go over it and over it and over it. This is a process thing. It's a method. You don't just write it once and say, okay, now I can correct it and hand it in. That's not how you'd write creative writing with long stories. You have to go over it because you get different parts, different times. Your head is in a different place every time you go to work. And that's great because it means if you go to work a lot over a long time, you keep coming at it from different angles and you catch things. You're like, oh my God, this will solve that. That is the most important thing I can teach you. It's okay not to just get little bits at a time if you keep going through it, because slowly but surely you'll get it pretty much all. Okay. Yes, it was indeed the first take for Steamboat Bill. They could only do that once. And yes, Buster Keaton did break his neck doing a stunt. He was on a train and he held onto the water spout. The water knocked him down and he landed on the tracks and he apparently broke his neck, did not know it. And years later, he had an x-ray and they said, when did you break your neck? He's like, I don't know. I didn't break my neck. Is there an underground rail system under Los Angeles? No, there is not. They're building one now, currently around Wilshire and Westwood. But yeah, they are building a bit of a subway. But their use famously was a surface transit, a very, very extensive surface trolley car called the Red Car, which then got destroyed by municipal corruption and actually the car industry. The auto industry wanted to take away the red cars so that people would buy more cars and build more freeways, and they did that. And it's a big scandal. People are always trying to make movies out of it, actually. Anyway, there is not an underground rail system. There is an underground sewer system, which is notorious. It's been in several movies, particularly one with Richard Basehart called I Think He Walked by Night. A chase, a film noir with a chase through the Los Angeles sewer system because of these gigantic concrete tunnels. Hello, Shasion. I hope I said that right. I'm glad that you're here. Okay, so this is taught. You have learned that. Learn it. It's a process. You go over it and over it and over it. Okay. So let me now. Yes, that's right. Who Framed Roger Rabbit does involve the red car scandal, the freeway scandal. Okay. So he could be a crime cracker. Now, here's the interesting thing. How much does she already know about this? Instead of going to the police, he was putting himself in danger so he could be a crime cracker. He put himself in danger. So he put himself, not was putting. Let's keep it short and active. Yes, indeed. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Actually, it's I know some as I said, I'm a boomer. I know some Zoomers. I know some young people who cannot bear when they say the title of the movie in the story, and in fact, it's kind of a meme, a famous meme, of forcing that, as in. We're the Suicide Squad. Sure, that's pretty easy, but there are. It is awfully funny when you see people making up things where it's like, "Wait, are you the Great Gatsby?" Yeah, that's as it happens. I believe it is cool when the character can say the title of the movie. Yes, and then that is a particularly good one. Now. I believe that the web sleuths are discussed later with Xena. Okay. I'm sorry. I hope you. My stomach is grumbling and I have hiccups. It's just one of those days, you know. In the Crime Cracker forums. In the crime. Next, all right, we're sending you back to the... Yeah, exactly. The B line is a subway line in Los Angeles, I believe, although I think it's only recently that they got letters for them. I believe that right now there's like posters on buses that say like, hey, we're starting to give the subways letters because we have enough subways that you can't do colors. For a while, they were just like the green line, the blue line. But now there's like a light blue line and a green line, a dark blue line. And so they've started to give them numbers as well. Yes. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is an excellent movie. It's a fascinating exploration of mixing media and being meta about that. Okay, so all right. So I think I'm going to explain, because here's the thing. The audience is coming into this story and they don't know anything about this stuff. They don't know. So I need to explain it. And here's a fabulous moment to have it explained, because one character needs to tell the other character, and that's how you get exposition in. The question is, how much did Madeline learn overnight? Like, she called the police. You would think she would have had a long conversation with them, but but I don't know that they would have gotten into the crime crackersness of it. He was putting out on the internet. He was podcasting. This is still just this. I was stuck on this. This is something you will have happen if you write a lot. There will be just some phrase or some line that you just can't quite wrangle the mechanics of, and it will just bug the hell out of you, possibly forever, and you may never get it right. This sentence is turning into one of those. I will live with it for now. Sorry, but yeah. Sorry, but yeah. See, I'm trying to think of maybe I want to. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to move. It's the chemistry set killer. That's really what she knows about. So I think. Hi, Jose. Thank you. That's very kind of you. I am so glad. So let's see. The one who she's going to say, he says, the chemistry set killer. The one who killed. Maybe. I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. The chemistry set killer. You don't know where you put the evidence. Whatever. Chemistry set killer. CSK. 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 Chemistry set killer. Actually, no. That's right. That's the CSK, the chemistry set killer. What I need to do. Chemistry set killer. See, chemistry set killer, and then I say he was putting it. It's not clear. George was putting. Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, let's see. Because the thing you have to watch out for when you have one person who knows a lot in a scene is the other characters just starts to become well, what's that? And we don't want Madeline, our lead, to be just saying, well, what's that? What's that? George was putting out on the internet that he had new evidence to identifying new evidence ago, identifying CSK. George was putting out on the internet that he had new blah, blah, blah. Boy, do I hate that line. George was podcasting. Yeah, let's just say podcasting. George was podcasting. They had new evidence. I don't know if, I do, the cop might talk like that, but was going to reveal his identity. Who's going to name him? Who's going to reveal his identity? He had new evidence. He was going to CSK, the chemistry set killer. George was podcasting that he had new evidence. He was going to identify. Yeah, identify. He's going to identify CSK. He was going to identify CSK in a few weeks. He was going to identify CSK. See, we already know that, so identifying CSK. Dumb shit. Yeah, just identifying. All right. Identifying CSK. There we see. George was podcasting the new evidence, identifying CSK. Why could I not get that faster? This is sometimes the tricky thing about writing. You get stuck in a rack, on a track, and you think, oh, well, it has to go this way. And you're like, no, actually, it should be on this all other. And you get stuck on words, and you think that they are worthy. Hi, Butte. We are fixing this scene, and we are actually making progress. I am. You guys are learning as I do. CSK, the chemistry set killer. George was podcasting that he had new evidence identifying. This is the chemistry set killer. Dumb shit. Evidence of what? George was podcasting that he had identifying CSK. I think actually this is what we do. This is what we do. All right. Wait a second. Is that a... Why is this breaking here? CSK, the chemistry set killer. All right, for some reason, all right. George's podcast. There we go. Grimly into the shabby studio around them. Home studio around them. That's better. See, now George was podcasting that he had new evidence identifying CSK, the chemistry set killer. Dumb shit. George was the dumb shit? I'm sorry, but yes. I'm sorry, but yeah. He was putting He was making himself a target. Instead of going to the police, he was making himself a target on the internet. Making himself a target on the internet so he could be a crime cracker. Be a what? I beg your pardon? I'm sorry. Yeah. George was the dumb shit. That's it. All right. I'm going to take a second here to talk to Pedro. Pedro, I don't believe there is such a thing as a ranking. You know, the idea that there's a best writer is crazy talk to me. I don't believe there's a top 10 movies. I mean, obviously there's a top 10 box office or top 10, ticket sales or whatever the hell you want to talk about. But the idea that I don't even believe there's a best picture of the year. I mean, I love the Academy Awards, or used to, but that's absurd. There ain't no such thing. There's a lot of good ones, and they're all different, and they're all cool, and I'm excited, to see. Screenwriting includes small screen, and there's some amazing people out there doing that. So I have so many favorites that actually, I mean, it would take last week it took me a full day just to come up with a bunch of character-based stories that I thought were good, because I had so many in my mind and I had to make the list. Offhand, I'm actually really loving Bill Hader and Barry. I think the first season of Russian Doll, I'm really looking forward to the second because it's amazing. Better Call Saul. Movie-wise, I don't watch that many new movies, but I got to say, the Batman was terrific. I thought Nomadland, a while ago, was great. There's so many great writers. There's just a lot of them. And Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is a fabulous series. Sorkin's nice. Sorkin's uneven. I mean, he can get way too Sorkin-y. I used to admire David Mamet in some ways, but not others. Nora Ephron was amazing. Neil Simon was amazing. There's so many, so many. The best screenwriter in the business cannot be done for me. I am not into. In fact, this is actually really important. Let me see if I have it here. Yes. I have made a whole video about this concept of contest, of ranking things, as opposed to a library in which you have a lot of different things that you can pull at different times for different reasons. I urge you to watch that, because that is my belief about art, which is that it ain't a contest. There is no best. Somebody might be good. Also, sometimes a person who's actually a crappy writer can write a great script. It can happen. Sometimes a bunch of people come together and the script that they make, even though none of them is particularly a great writer, is amazing. And then they never do it again. Cool. It happens. It's a weird thing, this art business, this art field that we try and be in. And the one thing I think is really good is to get away from the concept of it as a game, as a contest, as points, as ranking, because that just creeps me out. It's not how I look at art. It's like when I look at things to watch or things to read, I never say, well, what's the best? I say, what is speaking to me at this moment for these reasons? Okay. George was processing new evidence. The dumb shit. George was the dumb shit. Who's the dumb shit? By the way, the reason I did this is because I'm trying to suggest that she's groping, is not certain about this sentence as she says it. Wait, what are you saying? George was the dumb shit? Sorry, but yeah. Instead of going to the police, instead of bringing it to the police, he was making himself a target on the internet so he could be a crime cracker. What? What? Be a what? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There is a top 10 of. I can't actually do a top 10. Sometimes I can do a top 500. That's me. Yeah. No. It's all good. I like to talk about this. I like to, and I'm happy to debate it. But I believe that there is value to making lists. I really do. I love that. I love when somebody makes lists of their favorites or of their favorite of this narrow thing, especially my favorite, vampire movie. However, what I like about that is that somebody is curating for me, not that someone is eliminating or ranking for me. That is what I like. But I love, like, if somebody says top 10, I wish they didn't stick to 10, but I don't mind a top 10. And like I said, just for me, I can't do 10. Okay. Sorry, but yeah. Instead of bringing it to the police, he was making himself a target on the internet so he could be a crime cracker. What? A what? Yeah. Here's the reason I'm not doing be a what, because I like be a what, is that just now she's like dumb shit. George was the dumb shit. Be a what is the exact same form of question. So at least it's like a what? I hate giving it to her, but I need to because is there a... I'm trying to think. Crime crackers. See, like I'd love it if he could point to something as he's talking. But no, it's online. Online crime, online amateur detectives. It's a website. It's a website. Online amateur online detective. Amateur online detectives. Web sleuths. Online detectives. Web sleuths. People with nothing to do. So they do my job badly. That's a good line. People with nothing to do, so they do my job badly. Web sleuths. Yeah, that sounds bad. It's like a crime crackers. It's a website. It's like a book club. It's crime crackers. It's a website. Crime crackers. Do I need to say it's a website? Yeah, I guess so. People with nothing to do. People with nothing to do, so they do my job badly. That's a good line. Web sleuths. Yeah, that just sounds bad. I would probably... yeah, no, I can't. I can't really do a top 10. I make lists of my favorite movies in a given genre. So I say yes. Yeah, lists are great. Lists are a favorite activity of mine. Absolutely. So let's see. Okay, so now we have established that George was a crime cracker. I like that. That is good. Now we have the rest of the scene to get through. This is a line. It's not very important. If he wasn't dead, I would probably just arrest him for. Yeah. If he wasn't. And George had the evidence. It just sounds bad, but I'm trying to think about this evidence question. What else do I have to get here? Okay. Yeah, that just sounds bad. Yeah, that just sounds bad. He was making himself a target on the internet so he could be a crime. Web sleuths. Yeah, that just sounds bad. I'm trying to figure out where they are emotionally here. Okay. And that's kind of fun because Zena's calling right when they're talking about the crime crackers. So do you think he did? So the evidence is here. Now we need to establish so you think let's just strain the pot. I think you're supposed to. But I hope it was. We've turned this place out. I was hoping you we've turned this place upside down. What's the evidence? But he found the evidence. was hoping you knew something. We tried this and we can't find any new evidence. Or is he saying, see, I want, whoever did this, I think, took the evidence. That's what we want. All right. Oh, look, an hour has passed. Yes, he is edgy. I don't think he's particularly old. I say he's middle-aged, and I think that he's not so much old as just doesn't like this case. He doesn't like George. He doesn't like the web sleuths. That was what I was trying to get at. I think he's like mid-career, actually. I think detectives tend to be older because you don't get to be a detective until you've been on the force a while. So my intention was to have him simply dislike this case. And we're going to leave it here for now. It's starting to look like. All right, I'm going to leave this as just, this is where I'm working from. But we're coming up to the end of the hour. We have accomplished mucho. It is good, and I am happy. This scene is working for at least a bit of it, and that's pretty cool. And now we have more, but we're going to get it. We are going to get this, and this is a tricky scene. In every script, I will tell you, in any script, there are certain scenes or sequences which are just hard. They're just complicated or hard, and it's not that you won't get them. It's just that it takes, like, some of them you get done in a day, and some of them they take a week or two. It's just the way it works. And the one thing that's nice is when you've done it a bunch, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm in that one, but they all aren't going to be like. Not every scene is going to be like this one. This is a toughie. It tends to. It happens more in pilots than other things, and it happens more in these scenes where you're trying to explain a lot in a scene. That's such a drag. Anyway, so yeah, that's where we are. That's how far we got. We will try again tomorrow to press ahead. Thank you all for being here. It's delightful. I will see you tomorrow. Go write something.